Hi folks, Joseph Kursky here with you to talk about what nobody told me about GIS, Geographic Information Systems. What nobody told me about GIS. That 40 years after I started using GIS, that I'd still be doing it. Nope, that's not one of them. I actually knew 40 years ago as an undergraduate that I'd actually be using Geographic Information Systems through my whole career. Why? Because it was so intriguing then and it's still so intriguing now. There's always more to learn with GIS. There's always new tools, there's always new problems to solve, there's always new scales to examine, there's always new methods, there's new models, there's new data sets to investigate, etc. There's always more to learn in GIS. So that's not one of the things. That it would be so widely used outside of geography, environmental studies, GI science. Nope, that's not one of the things either. I actually always believed, even when I started using GIS way back when in the 20th century, that it would have far-reaching implications to numerous disciplines: data science, economics, business, civil engineering, urban planning, mathematics, and much more. So that's not one of them either. What about this? That it is making our world a better place. Nope, that's not one of them either. I always knew, even as an undergraduate, that GIS had the potential and spatial thinking tied to geotechnologies to make our world a more resilient, equitable, sustainable world. I always believed that, and I still do. From global to local scales, these issues of our 21st century world, climate, natural hazards, population change, urban sprawl, energy, water, etc., are global issues that affect our individual everyday lives. I always believed that GIS would make our world a better place because people are making smarter, more sustainable decisions in it. So that's not one of them either. Okay, what are the two that remain? What nobody told me about GIS? That it would be largely online, software as a service. When I was using GIS in the early days, I had this mindset, and I think many of you watching this video probably did as well, that GIS, like other computer software, would run on a device, a mainframe, a mini computer, a personal computer, a tablet, a laptop, something like that. You're actually running software. And that model is still there. We still have GIS software, to be sure, and we will have GIS software for the conceivable future running on a device. Okay, but it was greatly enhanced in many ways through the advent of WebGIS, right? WebGIS, having data as services, having the ability to share models, methods, results, communication tools like dashboards, story maps, infographics, and be able to share data with each other so that we can collaborate across disciplines, across far-flung regions of the world to examine key problems that we need to collaborate on to solve these perplexing 21st century complex issues that affect our everyday lives, affect people's lives and property and the environment, the earth. So that part, that it would be largely advented to the web in many respects, that part I did not conceive of, to be honest, back in those early days. The second thing that I did not really have a keen sense of is that the geospatial GIS community would be so absolutely wonderful. They're very passionate about two things: helping people to be successful with geospatial technology and helping our world to be, again, more sustainable, more resilient. That part I did not fully comprehend. I knew that people around me in my own courses were very passionate about geotechnology, that we all helped each other, but I didn't have this sense of the global community really coming together around solving problems with GIS. So the two things that remain now in this video, what nobody told me about GIS and that I didn't have a preconceived notion of, is that it would largely evolve to this web-based platform, a platform to collect data, to map it, to analyze it, to communicate the results about, and also, secondly, that the community would be so wonderful. So those are two things that nobody told me about GIS that I didn't really realize. But the other things, that I'd still be using GIS through my whole career, yeah, I had a sense that I would be doing that, and it would be so widely used outside of geo-enviro GIS, GI science circles. Yes, I always believed that it would be, and that it is making our world a better place. I always believed, and I still do believe, that it is making our world a better place. So those are a combination of what nobody told me about GIS and things that I actually knew starting out with GIS. Now, I'd love to hear your GIS story. For those of you that are just starting out with GIS, what are your visions? How can you move GIS forward? We're not just using things, we're actually blazing trails. We're blazing new trails in GIS. So what would you like to see in GIS tools, methods, models, templates, solutions, etc.? What would you like to see GIS evolve into in the future? And not just passively accept other developments, but how can you play an active role in that development going forward? I'd love to hear your thoughts about that, and then also what you're thinking about what your own career pathway is in GIS. How are you going to use GIS in habitat, energy, water, population studies, land use, whatever it is that you're passionate about? And how much do you see GIS being used in your day-to-day job? Is it half your day, every day? Is it all day, every day? Is it a couple hours a week, a couple hours a month? How do you envision having GIS on your tool belt? Thanks for being with me on these thoughts about what nobody told me about GIS. Thanks.